Hi dear students. Today we are going to talk about an important part of your study at the IOC Daoland healthcare program. At the moment when you are studying, you're doing a fast track or you are doing a bachelor program or a master program, you work towards a certification. And I take this school very serious, and of course you take this school also very serious. That means that there are particular kind of rules to follow to make sure that you get to the end of the program. These rules cannot be changed for any student under any circumstance because the changes that are required are called a corruption of the original ID, and because we want to work on a broad recognition for our program and our educational program internationally, we are required to follow the outlines of our certification program very strictly. And in this video we will talk about two of our programs, namely the fast track program, how you get to your certification, and we talk about the bachelor program, how to get to your certification. So let's get on with it and let's make a start. And for this we have to ask ourselves a few questions. When you have entered the fast track program, you have to understand that there are, of course, many different kinds of fast tracks that you can follow. Each of these fast track, whether you do it individually or whether you do it as a group, they have a fixed structure. There are about 30 contact hours. That means there's about 30 hours of video, class time, and so on and so forth to help you through the program. In some cases, it can be a little bit more, a little bit less, and some courses are made up of 2 or even 3 fast tracks to make sure that you get to the end of your program and you get eventually the certification to fulfill your skill. Like for instance, the dietary fast track, the food fast track, that is 2 modules. There is in Udang breath yoga, there are 2 different kind of levels, but each has their own certification. With the Udang fitness is exactly the same. There are 3 or 4 levels depending on how you want to look at it, and each has its own certification. When we look at the certification program as a whole, you can see there is a part where you learn skills, then there is a part where you learn how to implement it into a classroom situation, and there is a part where you are working towards your graduation. When you go through your theoretical part, you have to understand that you have to write a report about what you have been learning. And on average, the amount of pages that you have to write is about 15 pages. So it is not too much. At the moment, when you write about 15 pages, you want to include a few different aspects, namely what was in the reader, what was in the classes, what was in the videos, and so on and so forth, and what did you learn from these things, and what other resources besides the resources that we gave and what you took from it and what you learned from it did you actually use to get to your specific way of doing these fast tracks. You have to understand, for the fast tracks, even though we provide basic materials to have an understanding, there is no theoretical requirement that you have to complete, but you have to, one way or the other, make visible that you have affinity with the material. And that is for this first part. So about this first part, you have to write a paper. Then when you go to your apprenticeship, which I hope you started planning at the beginning of your fast track, then at that moment you are automatically implementing what you have learned in the first sessions, and as a result of that you will have to go report about that. And usually every 3 classes that you give, every 3 massages that you give, every 3 facials that you give, or anything like that, you will have to write a report about that. In essence, you send me this report, of course, so that I can see how your progress is, and we also discuss in private settings what your progress was and where are your difficult issues, and so on and so forth. We don't need a lot of time for that, but they are important. When you are getting through these things, then you have to write a final report which includes all your earlier reports. And then your final paper includes all your reports, your final reports, and your reporting about the theoretical part, so that in the end, at the end of the fast track, you have written a paper from about 25 pages probably, which is basically about what you have been learning, how you think you're going to implement it, your experience with setting up your classes, and so forth and so forth. So all these kind of things, they are all included so that you actually describe the whole process. We do it like that because otherwise we have to take exams, and exams are time consuming. They give a falsified image about what you do know, what you do not know, because you can learn from an exam but not learn anything in principle. So we try to avoid that kind of things. So these reports are very much essential. So when you do this and you set up your fast track in the right way, you're going to have your certification at the end, of course, unless when there is particular kind of problems with your skills or your understanding that are really requiring more attention, and then we will openly say that and ask for some adjustments. You will include it in your final paper, so your paper might become a little bit longer, and as a result of that you eventually always come to the end. It shouldn't take long. Within 3 to 6 months you should be able to be ready. The first 3 months you have to use more or less for your theoretical and practical skill learning, then about 3 months for your apprenticeship. So within half a year you should be fully at work. Your apprenticeships, they already make you at work. And when you are in the bachelor program, the fast tracks are obligatory also, 5 at least. So at that moment you actually have a laboratory in which you can test your theoretical learnings from the program. So now let's go to the second part, that is the bachelor program. The bachelor program, of course, is a 2-year program. There is a shorter version for people who have been studying earlier so that we finish things, but in essence the program is exactly the same. The program has 4 parts, and each of these have to be reported on. And one of these 4 parts actually is your reporting. So your reporting is part of your studies, because in this reporting you actually explain what you have been learning, how you're integrating the theories with each other, how you integrate the theory with the practice, and so on and so forth. There is the Tsuguchikun part, which you have to report about, because the Tsuguchikun is your first and major practice skill to help you test your theoretical understandings. Then there are the fast tracks, 5 at least. You can do more if you want to, through which you have a body of materials from which you can choose to create extra income or to generate clients for your other activities once you are graduating in the bachelor program. And there is, of course, besides this practice-based thing, there are particular meditations on your organs, on your channels, on the dantian, on the ling body, and so on and so forth. These are all relevant as a foundational part to make sure that you understand the theoretical framework of Chinese medicine. Then there is the basic theories. The basic theories are yin yang, wu xing, 3-partition theory, and a lot of other theories about Neidan and other aspects of Chinese culture, which are relevant to understand why Chinese medicine is what it is in the past, and also to understand what it is in the present. Beside that, there is a part which is about sociology, anthropology, scientific reasoning, and so on and so forth, in which you learn to develop a transcultural way of looking at things, and you actually go through all kind of questionnaires and documents, and when you go through these questionnaires and documents, you actually fulfill that part. You also set out a strategy for your studies. Then there is the Yangshan module. The Yangshan module is very important, because the Yangshan module actually in its all extension is about taking care of other people. And for us, Yangshan is not just a matter of doing beauty things or taking care of people's health life by giving them advice, but it's actually our nursing program through which we help people to cultivate themselves and to become better people, and also, of course, more healthy people. Then there is a theoretical framework with how Chinese medicine theory works. Where are the channels? Where are the channels for? And we do this in a comparative view. So you understand that all these kind of aspects, which are totaling 7 modules, these all are relevant in the sense that you have to come to an understanding of how do you say this? The totality of your bachelor program. Then your writing of your final program is your final module. This one you can do in your own time. You have maximum a year to complete it, but the advice is to complete it in half a year. And for every part of your modules, you have written reports that you are going to include inside your bachelor paper. That includes also the reports of your fast tracks. So that means that you have in your bachelor program final paper more or less a set structure. That is, you describe the outline of the education program for yourself, how you understand it, what you have done in which order to complete all different kind of aspects of the study, and what you think you understood, which books on the reading list you have been studying, which books in addition to the reading list you have been studying, what you take from the readers that I've written for you to give you a good comprehension about the broadness of Chinese culture and also in its transcultural perspective. And when you are ready with these kind of things, then eventually you create an overview of what you have been studying. And you have to understand a bachelor program is for this purpose. In the bachelor program, you want to clarify what you have learned. You don't want to clarify all your speculations about things. You don't want to come with all kind of strange theories or anything like that. You don't want to deviate from anything that we did during the studies. The videos, the texts, the meetings, and so on and so forth, the practice classes, all these kind of things are all relevant to make sure that you get to, how do you say, become skillful. You have to understand the amount of medical knowledge in the bachelor program is limited, so that you are like a basic general practitioner, and technically you're there to assist a practitioner. So that means that you are going to be very suitable in working on the guidance. In circumstances, you can do a lot without any guidance, but you have to see primarily this as a preparatory part for your specialization towards your master program. And as a result of the differences between the bachelor program and the master program, there are going to be some additional aspects on the finalization of your master program that require a different video than this one. I hope this video was helpful to you and that it serves as a lead for your finalization of your diploma. If you need anything, just ask it. That is the whole purpose. If you find anybody you think, well, actually they are suitable for this study, maybe I should inform them about this, and you can explain it to them, and maybe when they sign up, that will be really great, because the more people sign up, the lower we can make the prices. And all our careers are going to be partly supporting the development of the program, and eventually, because of your skill development according to the rules of the program, hopefully you will participate in producing materials in the future too, so that we all can contribute to the development of Chinese medicine and Chinese medicine healthcare in the West. This was an introduction in the Daoland, Taoist medicine and Chinese medicine course material in how you are going to go develop yourself towards your final paper. I hope it was helpful for you, and I look forward to see you in class, and of course I look forward to see your final papers in the future. And for this we have to ask ourselves a few questions.